Hey, how are you guys doing? Welcome. Welcome to my channel. I'm so glad to see you guys here and for popping into my practice space. A little bit of an invasion, but okay, we'll just go for it today. Hey guys, if you will enjoy these videos, please remember to hit the subscribe button and that little bell notification to stay up to date with all the videos that we're going to be releasing to you. For today, I want to talk to you a little bit about the neck. Now, we just did in the previous video, talk to you a little bit about spinal molding. But before we get into that, I want to just talk to you a little bit about the neck and what we're trying to do. One of the biggest problems with a lot of people these days, and you can see it even in my neck, it comes from all the years of being on my computer and doing a lot of postures like shoulder stand, plow pose, headstand. A lot of these poses are actually not that great for you. One of the reasons why is because they start to take the curve out of the neck. And this can become very problematic. A nice healthy neck should have actually a curve in it, as well as the lumbar spine. And if you look at my lumbar spine and my neck right now, they almost kind of mirror each other. This is very kind of long and flexed. You can see that my head is turtling out a little bit as opposed to up here, which is where I should be. So it takes a little bit of effort to get that extension, that curve, back into the neck. For some reason, we've been told by a lot of people that we need to flatten our neck. I don't know where this came from and why it's there, but we need to get the curve back. And as my physical therapists say, we need to learn to look up at the stars again. Because when we looked up at the stars, we had that beautiful extension that was there, as opposed to our world now where we're constantly looking down. So I want to give you a few little simple hacks that you can start to do to build these curves back up in a really nice and gentle and easy way. Anytime we start working with the neck, please kindly remember to take care of yourself. You don't push yourself. These muscles in the neck are really small, they're really tiny, and the truth is that you probably haven't worked many of these neck muscles in a long time. One of the reasons why you have neck pain, or why a lot of people have neck pain, is because the muscles that are supporting the head are not doing their job properly. And so anytime you get like a neck ache, you feel like your neck has gone out, you tweak a muscle, it's usually because that muscle has experienced stress, trauma, and overuse. So what we want to do is two things. We want to put the curve back into the neck, and also, by the way, the lumbar spine, because they mirror each other, but we also want to begin to strengthen those neck muscles, okay? So, just in case you didn't get it before, these are two spinal molding blocks that you can get. I'll put a link to them in the show notes, so that way you can order them on Amazon, which is probably one of the easiest places to get them, and have them overnighted to your house. This particular one is for the lumbar spine, and this particular one is for the cervical spine. Okay, so to set it up for the lumbar spine, you just take the one for the lumbar right up, and you're going to lie back. Ah, yes! I just love this so much. You have no idea. It's just, my body goes, oh, I can let go now. And then I'm going to take this one and place it up at the neck, and then just let my hands come out. And all I'm going to do is just lie here. Now the prescription is supposed to be for 18 minutes. I always set my alarm for 20 minutes, so you can decide what works best for you. If it's uncomfortable to stay here for the full 18-20 minutes, then break it up into 2 chunks. If that's too much, break it up into 3 chunks. But really work on trying to stay here for as long as possible. This is one of the most effective ways that you can do to begin putting these curves back into the neck and into the lower back, okay? One of the tips that you can do, or things that you can do while you're here, is leave your hands on your rib cage and just breathe into those hands. Now my hands are more on the side of the body, So I'm going to breathe in and feel the lungs expanding outwards into my hands as opposed to upwards towards the ceiling. So I'm going to breathe more into the sides of the ribs and feel how the diaphragm starts to expand, not just downward, but also into the side body. Beautiful. So again, you want to stay here for about 18-20 minutes. I always set my timer for 20 minutes, but you can decide what's going to be best for you and your time schedule. The longer you can stay here, the better it's going to be for everybody. Now, here's a couple of other very simple exercises that you can do. One of them is called Sphinx Pose. And Sphinx Pose is just such a great pose. This particular posture is actually given by many PT therapists. It's a wonderful technique for those people especially who are suffering from herniated discs in the neck and lower back. I'm just going to go out on a limb and say there are more people that are dealing with herniated discs than they know. And what happens is that those herniated discs start to press into the nerves, the pain receptor nerves in the lower back and in the neck. And that is actually what starts to cause more inflammation, which disrupts the communication system between the brain and the muscles, and then the muscles stop working properly. So it's like a chain reaction, and one of the best ways that you can start to get that disc material back into the spine where it's supposed to be is doing an extension pose, a very simple extension pose like Sphinx Pose. And so when you come out of this pose, what is said is that by holding this pose for a specific amount of time, kind of creates this vacuum effect of pulling the disc material back into the vertebrae, ergo relieving the pressure on the nerves that are there. So I just like to stay here, and a good amount of time to stay here is 5 minutes. So set your timer, come into this pose, and just do this pose for about 5 minutes. While you're here, you're just going to really focus on relaxing in the lumbar spine and just taking a few deep breaths in and deep breaths out. You can kind of see that I'm I'm a happy Sphinx. I'm wagging my tail. And I'm just allowing and inviting my lower back to relax. I'm relaxed in my shoulders. I'm not doing anything active at this moment. So for those of you who usually follow me know that I'm always teaching you to do things that are a little bit more dynamic. This is definitely crossing into the passive category. It's completely fine. It's fine for now. This isn't going to do anything horrible because you're not really pushing your body into an extreme range of motion. But what you are starting to do is encourage that curve, that natural curve in the lumbar spine. Okay? Let's take another 2 more breaths here. Breathe in and out. And in. And out. Beautiful. So again, when you're doing this on your own, just set your timer for 5 minutes. Stay here for at least 5 minutes. And when you come out, it will start to feel really a lot better in your spine. Now for the next thing that we're going to do is one that you have probably seen a zillion times in your yoga practices. It's called sometimes CatCow or Chakravakasana or quadruped, where you come onto all fours. What you're going to do here is just very simply inhale and then exhale into neutral. Now don't come into full flexion, please, because you're already dealing with that full flexion. Just come into neutral, which means come out of it a little bit. Then inhale, look up as much as you can slowly. Lift your tailbone up as high as you can, making the lower back come into flexion. And then exhale, come into neutral. As you exhale, come into neutral. Squeeze the sides of the belly in towards each other. Inhale. Slowly looking up. Don't just kind of pop your head up. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And inhale. And exhale. Now, if you want to play with this a little bit, I invite you to do that. You kind of just come into an inhale, but then kind of look a little, like turn your head about 20 degrees to the right, and then look up from there. And then come back. Do that again. Turn your head about 20 degrees to the right and look up. And slowly come out. And do that a few times more. I'll do it one more time with you. So turn the head a little to the right. Look up. And exhale, come back. Let's do it on the other side now. 20 degrees to the left and look up. And then slowly come back. Sides of the belly into the midline. 20 degrees to the left and look up. And come back. And I'll do it one more time with you. 20 degrees to the left and look up. And then slowly back. Very nice. So those are just a couple of really simple and easy ways to start helping your neck to get some of that extension back. Like I said to you before, a lot of people are really concerned about having people get that extension. But if you look at this biomechanically, if I'm sitting like this, you can see that my posture is not correct and that there's a lot of stress on my spine. If I'm sitting like this is actually a lot better in my spine than this. So it stands to reason that we need to get the muscles stronger in the lower back and we need to get the muscles stronger in the neck, and especially those muscles that start to pull the head back a little bit so that they actually hold the neck in that extension, that correct extension, rather than the head dropping into this like flexion. All right, my friends, please leave some comments below. Tell me how it feels when you start to push or to bring your lower back and your neck more into extension. And also please let me know if you have any other aches or pains that you're dealing with. I'd love to hear from you. And as we're creating a lot of videos for you that you can start to do at home and bring some of these AYAMA practices into your life, that you really start to feel stronger and that your body is actually supporting you in doing all of the things that you love to do. All right? So have a super wonderful day. Namaste.